And joining us from Tobago, Lizelle Isaac, who is the Archives Manager, Tobago Archives Scarborough Library Facility. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay.
Now, the Tobago Archives include slave registries, plantation records, newspapers, and you all are putting them into an electronic database.
Yes, we have. Yes, we are. Recently, we had partnered with the National Archives of Trinidad and Tobago, and they have done a lot of restoration for us. A lot of the material, because of natural aging or because they were not exposed to the right conditions, deteriorated over time. So the National Archives restored some of those records, and as an additional bonus, the records were digitized. So now the public could have access to those digitized records.
How can the public access these records?
Well, the public could access the records by coming to the Scarborough Library's facility on the second floor. We have a computer, and they could basically come and be able to go through the records there.
Now, from what I understand, you all have records that are about 200 years.
Yes, we do.
How long does it take you to digitize that?
So we have records from mostly from the British colonial era. We have records when the French took possession of Tobago. So we have a number of records from throughout that period.
Right. Now, there was a concern that some of the, there were some damages, and now 70% of the documents have been restored. What happened to the other 30%?
Okay, so the other 30% is currently at the National Archives of Trinidad and Tobago in Port of Spain, and those are being restored.
Okay.
Because conservation and restoration takes a pretty long time to do. All of the records could not have been repaired for the opening in June. So it will take a little more time before Tobago have access to those records. But the main records have been restored and are available for public use.
So tell me about the importance of showcasing the slave and plantation records within the archives there in Tobago.
Okay, well, given that plantation life and the use of slave labor was a key element of Tobago's society in the 19th century, and we are definitely, most of Tobagonians are descendants of these African slaves who worked on the plantation. Exposing or showcasing such records will hopefully get persons to be aware of some of the struggles of their ancestors. Persons may be able to actually research their family history and know more about early Tobago life and colonial administration, etc.
When you say trace the family history, you mean they can probably do a trace to find out where their ancestors would have come from?
Yes.
Like their direct ancestors?
Slave registers, they will have the location where the plantations were in Tobago. For example, Richmond Estate, Hope Estate, were different estates, and we have the actual names, the origins, etc., relating to those enslaved persons.
That's interesting. I know the Indian High Commission has something like that as well, where if you want to trace where your ancestors came from in India, you can do that. So this is interesting. So how can people actually, get that information? What is the process of doing that? Okay,
so we are located on the second floor of the Scarborough Library facility. All persons have to do, they could call us at 639-2256. They could make an appointment, or they could just come by and ask to view such records. So it just basically starts off with a request, and persons could actually come by and be able to use those records.
And is it free to the public?
Yes, absolutely free to the public.
And what times can people come and check this out?
Okay, so the archives is open from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Monday to Friday?
Yes, Monday to Friday.
Now, is there any plans to make this like an online thing? So instead of people having to physically come into the library all the time, that they can probably go onto the website or a website and get information off that?
Yes, so we intend to extend our services to include persons having online access to defining age, which will give you a description or an inventory of what we have, as well as some of the key records. We could actually have them online for persons to view.
All
So
right.
they wouldn't have to physically come into the archives.
Yeah, so something for people to look forward to, and I'm excited about this. Thank you very much, Lizelle Isaac, Archives Manager, Scarborough Archives in Tobago there. So interestingly, sir,